Hello, everyone. My name is Wenzel, and welcome to my new podcast, Wenzel's Essentials. Some of you may already know me from my other podcasts that I co-host, those being All You Can Hear and the Backlog Boys, or maybe you know me from Twitter, or my Artstagram, World of Wenzel, or my Bookstagram, Wenzel Banters. If this is your first time ever hearing me, well, let me introduce myself. I'm a 25-year-old Filipino-American from Alabama. I'm mainly an artist who specializes in drawing and painting with occasional dips into digital. And I've been an artist my whole life, and I didn't really start taking it seriously until high school, and then when I started college, that was my main focus. My degree is currently unfinished, but that's okay because I do plan to finish it at some point. I didn't start podcasting until 2017 after I graduated high school. That's when I started All You Can Hear with my close friends, and we've been doing it ever since. So in spring of last year, I started a Bookstagram because over the past 5 years, my passion for reading has just grown exponentially, and I really wanted an outlet for it that wasn't just my art page on Instagram. So I started it as my blog of sorts without having to deep dive into making a website or anything. Everyone I've met on the book side of Instagram has been wonderful and so kind, so big shout out to them because I have been MIA on there for a little bit now, but hopefully that's about to change. Even after I started it, it felt like something was missing, and it was earlier this year when I realized that I don't want to just write about books. I also want to talk about them, and the only way for me to do that was through the best way I knew how, and that is through podcasting. So I came up with this. I would occasionally talk about books on AYCH, but it always felt stressful and awkward because only I was so passionate about it, and it felt like I was taking up space that could be for something that the group could share or relate to. So I thought this way, I am on my own time, and I'm not feeling pressured and just talking about what I love. But I knew that I needed even more, so what I'm going to do is have the show broken up into 3 sections. Every week we'll have 3 episodes. There will be essential reading on Tuesdays, essential viewing on Thursdays, and essential listening on Saturdays. Essential reading being books that I read that I love, essential viewing being films that I love, and essential listening being music, albums, LPs that I love. And there will be 2 special episodes that will also release. One at the end of the previous month, that's close to the beginning of the new month. That will be basically a wrap up of what I released that month, what I've read that I will do episodes later for, what I've read that I didn't like, what I've watched that I liked or disliked, and what I've listened to that I liked or disliked, and my plans for the next month. And the reason why I don't do, I want to reiterate that my main focus for the episodes will be things that I love or like and why I think that you should like them or why that I love them. And I might plan to do episodes in the future where I will revisit things that maybe I dislike, but I might like now, or just see how I feel about them now. I'll just have to see how that pans out. But anyway, then there will be a middle of the month episode, basically talking about the previous stuff that I just mentioned with any news, developments, or updates. And it will just be a middle of the month episode. Seeing where I'm at currently. But the main episodes themselves, I'm sure won't be too long because it will basically be me. But I hope you like them, and I'm excited to start this project. And to further explain where I got the title from and for the other 2 sections. So basically, in 2019, I became the co-host for a series in AYCH called Essential Viewing, along with a close friend and former co-host of the mainline show. It never really panned out and is basically defunct. However, there still exist episodes of that show on AYCH. We covered Old Boy, Pulp Fiction, The Thing, and Back to the Future, and you can still check those out. So I really recommend it because they're not bad, but they're still out there. So it's not really for me to say why we never really continued it or why they aren't part of the AYCH roster anymore. But it has nothing to do with any hard feelings or anything. It's just life and personal things that happen. So, but they'll always be welcome to come back. But ever since we started Essential Viewing, and it never really got off the ground, I've been itching to actually do it. And I thought, well, hell, I'll just take the name and use it, which in turn was how I came up with the title of the show. And that's how I came up with the title for all the other sections. And with music, why I'm doing a music section as well is, for those who may not know, and I'm sure for many people who may know, music is a huge part of me. I didn't really get big into listening to discographies and researching music until high school, when I was also learning the guitar and ukulele. And music was also a big foundation for why we even started AYCH, because we wanted to talk about Gorillaz' new album Humans and Kendrick Lamar's new album Damn. And ever since then, I was super proactive in listening to any new album, making playlists of singles I needed to listen to, albums I needed to listen to, and so on and so forth. Then in 2019, I just absolutely crashed and hit a huge burnout in music and my art and in school. This lasted until about last year, when I shook it off in the art aspect of my life. I was finally starting to find my style and really getting back into it and actually like enjoying making art again. And then I slowly started to listen to albums like I used to. And then in February of this year, I listened to an album that just completely knocked me off my feet, which will be the first album for Essential Listening. So I told myself and my friends that I have been burned out on so much for so long now, and for it to have affected something that I am passionate about, such as music, was pretty shocking to all of us when they noticed it, and crushing to me, obviously. But now I feel so rejuvenated, and having held this feeling all year is a very good sign of recovery, in my opinion. I've needed an outlet, just like with reading and watching films, for the music I love, and I desperately needed an outlet for all these three things together, that I'm just so passionate about, as I am with art. So let me just go ahead and go into what I had planned for the first week. So the first essential reading will be John Darnielle's Universal Harvester. The first essential viewing will be Igmar Bergman's The Seventh Seal, and the first essential listening will be Orville Peck's Bronco. My choices for what I will make an episode this year are kind of a mixed bag. So for essential reading, I'm trying to catch up on what I've already read this year, which is why Universal Harvester is the first book, because that was the first book I read this year. And and before I forget, for essential reading and essential viewing, there will always be separate non-spoiler reviews for them to coincide when they release. So basically, those will be written reviews that I will put up the same time with my episodes on my Bookstagram. Just like how for those who know me on my Bookstagram, like how I've already done my book reviews, I just want to put emphasis on still doing those. Just those are going to be the non-spoiler version of my podcast episodes. So and also too, before I forget, I just like to mention that I will actually be doing I won't be going in order with my essential reading, because for October I'll actually be doing spooky themed. So I'll be doing books that I've read that are spooky themed, because I've actually read a few books that are actually spooky this year, and I'll be doing the same thing with movies and albums. So but anyway, back to essential reading. So for that, I'm gonna focus on what I've read, but I also will be trying to juggle catching up on 2023 releases. So I'm very excited for that, because there's just quite a bit. As for essential viewing, it's literally just whatever I'm feeling, since I've seen more movies than I have read books. And for essential listening, I want to try and cover mostly 2023 releases, but I'm going to make the first 10 essential listenings be a mix of different years. And also, those who may know, I always start the year with a challenges for like how much I want to read or watch for the year. So this year, I have read so far 38 books out of 70. For films, I have watched 105 out of 150, and for albums, I've listened to 33 out of 50. But for that, again, I am limiting myself to 2023 releases. So that is currently 33 albums that have only come out this year. So whatever I listen to that isn't 2023, I don't count it. but I will give you a final total count at the end of the year, which will include everything that I've listened to. Doesn't matter if it's from 2023 or it doesn't matter if it's from not from 2023. It'll be from 2023 and beyond or before, you know. But I am keeping track of everything I listen to. So these episodes will be released on Spotify and hopefully other feeds like Apple Podcasts and Google and so on, except for SoundCloud. Again, to reiterate, my written reviews will be posted on my Instagram page, my Bookstagram, Wenzel Banters, for books and movies. I can't really do a non-spoiler review for albums just because there's nothing to spoil. But yeah, so, and that will basically be my main hub along with my threads, World of Wenzel, for just basic updates and stuff. Twitter at the time of me recording this will more than likely be dead soon, so I will still post stuff there as much as I can, and Blue Sky will hopefully replace that hub as well. Yeah, and also I should probably explain my ratings too. I have a rating system for books, music, and movies. So for books and music, I have a star system. So it'll go from 0 to 5 stars. And with that, though, I also have a decimal-based system as well. So for 5 out of 5, that can be anywhere from 9.5 to 10. For 4 stars out of 5, that can be anywhere from 8 to 9.4. For 3 stars out of 5, that can be anywhere from 6 to 7.9 out of 10. 2 stars out of 5 can be from 4 to 5.9, and 1 star can be anywhere from 1 to 3.9. And I will always include what they are, what the number is with every star rating as well, and then 0 out of 5 is just 0. I include the lower ratings because whenever I do talk about the things I didn't like for my update episodes, it's just for that, to basically explain that. And then for movies, I will also do a star rating system as well, along with a numerical decimal-based one as well. So for 5 stars out of 5, that's a 10. For 4.5 out of 5, it'll be anywhere from a 9 to a 9.5 plus. And plus just means it goes up to 0.9. So 4 stars out of 5, that's a 8 to a 8.5 plus. 3.5 stars out of 5 can be a 7 to 7.5 plus. 3 stars out of 5 will be a 6 to a 6.5 plus. 2.5 stars out of 5 will be a 5 to a 5.5 plus. 2 stars out of 5 will be a 3 to a 4.5 plus. 1.5 star out of 5 will be a 2 to a 2.5 plus, and then 1 star out of 5 will be to a 1 to a 1.5 plus, and then 0 out of 5 will just be a 0. Again, this is just to kind of understand whenever I talk about the things I disliked, where my star ratings, like how I feel, but on a more specific and more specific level, just because I know for stuff like Letterboxd and Goodreads, the star ratings don't necessarily cut it so much, and this is actually how I based all my ratings off of with the movies, that is solely based on Letterboxd. But I do like the numerical system more, just because it kind of gives a better idea of how I feel and where I place stuff. And then for the books and music, Goodreads star system fucking sucks. If anybody knows that, you can't do half stars. So for this, I had to include the numerical system, but I did the stars without the halves in there just because of the Goodreads system. I wanted to kind of mimic that a little bit, but just a little better. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, I am very excited, and I hope you guys like what I put out. I really appreciate all the support from my friends, my artist peers, my fellow bookstagrammers, from everyone. Thank you so much, and thank you to Goose, who created the intro and outro theme for my series. That is Goose, GHU, with a little 2 dots on the top, S. I had forgotten what the U is called, but that's how you spell that. So, yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Winsy Wilkie. You can follow my Blue Sky, World of Winsy. You can follow me on Threads, World of Winsy. You can follow my art Instagram, World of Winsy. You can follow my Bookstagram, Wenzel Banters, because again, that will be the main hub for the show. Go follow the All You Can Hear podcast, Backlog Boys, and all the other shows on the network. Thank you so much for listening. I can't wait for you guys to hear what I have in store. Please have a good day.